Well, hi there. My name is Brent Smith, and I am the Common Constitutionalist, and welcome to a weekday edition of the Common Constitutionalist video podcast. I've got one topic and one topic only today, and I'm just kind of doing it inside, I don't know, because I feel like doing it inside. That topic is NASCAR sells out, and I'll also be talking about the Bubba Wallace noose incident. So I'll be discussing that right after this. Be right back. All right, so NASCAR has flipped out. They've sold out to the race pimp cancel culture rage mob. And in case you don't know what NASCAR stands for, it's an acronym. Ready for this? It stands for the National Association of Southern Crappy Ass Racists. Yes, that's what it stands for. At least now that's what it stands for today. Anyway, I can't believe how astonishingly fast this whole thing all happened, frankly. We as a nation are heading headlong into an ash heap of history. And two of the most astonishing stories are rolled into one. First, we, against literally all odds, are able to form the most unique, freest, most prosperous nation in the world. The most free and prosperous nation, frankly, that the world has ever known in history, and do it in a relatively short period. We're able to construct a constitution of republicanism, never achieved prior and unmatched, and we're able to hold on to it for longer than any other nation in history, which is pretty phenomenal. It's an astounding thing to be one of the youngest nations, yet simultaneously have the oldest active constitution in the history of mankind. And now, second, it's just a matter in just a matter of weeks, frankly. Our leaders and fellow citizens are freely just giving away our freedoms and rights that well over 1 million, listen to me, folks, well over 1 million Americans died defending these freedoms, the Constitution. That's what we do. We defend and protect the Constitution, all right? We don't defend and protect people's right not to be offended. We defend and protect the Constitution of the United States. Everyone takes an oath that serves, everyone takes an oath that serves in office or whatever. That's what we do. At least that's what we used to do. And now, one after another, private corporations, entertainment, sports leagues have or are catering to, I guess, this phony movement that claims to be all about racial social justice, when it really is, as it's always been, about replacing our free market system and God-given rights with a Marxist communism and rights only granted by those in charge, which of course they can easily be taken away. Virtually every professional sport in America has folded to this anarchist mob except NASCAR, and now we can't say that either. They ordered, NASCAR that is, because of the rage mob, every Confederate Stars and Bars flag be taken down and no likeness of it be displayed. And many in the left didn't know how the racist rednecks of NASCAR would react. Well, golly, guess they know now. It seems Bubba Wallace, the sport's only full-time black driver, found a noose in his team's garage area or stall. Well, naturally, unhinged outrage ensued, and all reason was tossed to the wind. I mean, look, we have an inherently racist sport, NASCAR, don't you know, populated almost exclusively by moonshining rednecks with fewer teeth than they have toes. What more proof do you need, right? Well, that's good enough for me. Noose plus black man daring to be part of NASCAR? Whoever they name as the culprit, that person's going to be guilty no matter what. Whoever they name, it doesn't make any difference no matter what. They're going to be they'll be guilty. No further investigation is ever needed. Nothing to see here. Move along. So now, excuse me, I have to get changed. I have a date with Jussie Smollett. Just kidding, obviously. But speaking of Jussie, why can't anyone even consider that this could too be a setup, this noose that was placed in, just remarkably placed in Bubba Wallace's stall at NASCAR? Why doesn't anybody think that this could be a setup? I'm not saying Wallace had anything to do with this, because he probably didn't, but who knows at this point? I wouldn't know this guy, and I couldn't pick him out in a lineup. I don't really follow NASCAR anymore. This is what leftists do. Anarchist scumbags do this better than anyone. We've seen this time and time again. They stoke fear and whip up rage and hatred, and all three emotions, none of them are good. Rage, hatred, fear. All three of those emotions, not a one of them, are good emotions. Wallace announced in a Twitter post late on Sunday that he was, quote, incredibly saddened, unquote, by the discovery, which he called a despicable act of racism. And if it turns out to be true, you are right, Mr. Wallace. It is a despicable act of racism. But unfortunately, neither Wallace nor any of his people ever even considered this could be a fake planted by some jerk-off leftist. I mean, a noose? Come on. How freaking cliche can you get? It's something that these dirtbag leftists would do. I mean, look at Jussie Smollett. He did it. I thought he could get away with it. He was a dumb, you know what I mean. I'm not going to say it. He's not an intelligent individual. And we all remember the fake noose around his neck. Yeah, remember that? Well, this couldn't be a fake, right? It has to be true. But we're not allowed to think. This is the problem with this whole situation with the Black Lives Matter, Antifa nonsense. We're never allowed to think critically about any of this stuff. And this noose incident in Bubba Wallace's stall, we're not allowed to think critically about this. We're not allowed to take a step back. Okay, that we have to be outraged, we have to be afraid, and we have to burn things and break things and hurt people. But thinking critically, no, that would be racist, of course, which is, I guess it's expected of us whites, right? I mean, I'm white. That automatically makes me a racist. So I can't be critical, and heck, I can't even comment on this because I'm not African American. Oh, excuse me. I hate that term, because African isn't a race. It's a freaking nationality. But that's beside the point. And anyway, it's all just too emotional. Everything about this incident and all these other incidents is just running on pure outrage and emotion. And that's the problem, and that's why we're currently losing, us on the right are currently losing the argument over the way forward for this country. These guys, these leftists, these anarchists, these socialist communists are better. That's what the left does. They thrive and they live on emotion. These guys are experts at emotion. We're not, unfortunately, and that puts us at a decided disadvantage at this juncture. So what do? I got it. Let's get more emotional. That's it. That's what the Republicans would say. We need to get more emotional like the left. No, we don't. That's not it at all. It's our job as the reasonable ones to attempt to talk some of these otherwise decent Americans off the ledge. That's what we're supposed to do. Talk them down. Try to convince them that although the Wallace incident looks awful, what if it were a setup? And it could very possibly be. Between Black Lives Matter and the Islamists, there are numerous examples of made-up racism and outrage just for this purpose alone. I don't know what happened. Frankly, at this point, I don't think anyone does. And anyone watching this who thinks they do, you don't. No one knows as of yet, as far as I know. So why can't we just remain calm and look for the facts of the incident? If this is legit, it is in fact horrific, and somebody, frankly, I'll probably get in trouble for this, but whoever did this, if it's legit, if it's some redneck douchebag that did this, use the noose on that son of a gun. How's that grab you? Okay, so I said it, so sue me. But what if it's a setup like the Smollett incident or the many Islamist complaints that during, the women, oh, he ripped my hijab off or whatever, and hijab off, and it turns out not to be true. Or what about the Duke lacrosse incident? Okay, that was a black girl, right? She lied her blank off, and these guys fried for it, at least temporarily, and they'll probably pay for the rest of their lives. There are so many incidents of these setups, it's unbelievable, and that's what fuels the rage mobs. Why can't we all just get along? No. Why can't we just hold our judgment until we know more? It's likely to be relatively a little bit of time, so what's the big freaking deal? What's the rush to judgment? We're always telling our kids, if you have kids, not to rush into things, not to rush to judgment, to have a little patience, son, to have a little patience, my daughter, okay? Just take a chill pill, have a little patience, and we'll find out what happened. Why can't we do the same thing? Like I said, if this incident turns out to be legit, the dude or the woman, whoever did this and put them up to it, whatever, should freaking fry. Okay, because it's just ridiculous. But if this turns out to be a hoax, frankly, that dude should fry too. And that's all I've got. My name is Brent Smith. I'm the Common Constitutionalist. Don't forget to like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. And that's all I got. See ya.